say live stream yet. Oh, now it does. Okay.
It's processing it right now. Just give it a few moments if you would.
Okay.
It says it.
So let's move over to John's report, General Manager's report.
So, I guess the final comment I would have is I think overall, I think staff is doing a great job. I think, this has been a pretty stressful time for everybody, having, people working in different areas, different places, and they all seem to be pitching in and getting things done. I mean, from cleaning the facility because we don't have the cleaning people here to whatever we need to do, they're taking care of it. So I think it's great.
Great. Good.
Anything else, John?
No, that's it for me.
Okay. Then let's move down to commissioners' comments. Any comments that the commissioners might have?
None from me. Just
So, Mr.
ask
Mayor,
everybody to stay safe.
yeah. So, Mr. Mayor, I only have one comment. I like your beard, and it's only because I'm jealous because I couldn't grow a beard if I had to. So, I'm very impressed. Very impressed.
I just wanted to just real quickly run some statistics past the commission, just in that I get this every morning. Jody's very much aware of it, but in Yamhill County, again, we are keeping very constant. We have 1,013 tests that have been given in the county. 34 of those have a positive result, and with 6 deaths in Yamhill County. All 6 of those come from a assisted living facility in Newburgh that had that happened pretty early on. So we're doing a really good at stay at home, and the incidences, we're running around 3.5% of those that are tested come out positive, which is the statistic that we've been at for a long time, as compared to Oregon about 4.75. So we're doing the right kinds of things. And then John, if I'm not mistaken, you sent out just some information from the governor on getting ready to get back into the next level of trying to get us back online from the governor today. So I think all the commissioners received that latest word. And, we're so fortunate to have Jody on our commission, who is our regional business development, kind of getting us back online, and all the things that she's doing. We are so fortunate to have her on the commission and the fine work that she's doing. So those would be just my comments.
Thank you, Mayor. I will add that the PowerPoint that John set out today, I've actually been presenting that to several groups. This week, the governor's looking for input on the proposed reopening plans. There's several phases that need to occur before we actually talk about businesses being reopened and some of the restrictions being lifted. The state needs to increase its access to PPE, particularly for the healthcare community and for our frontline workers. And we need to increase our tests. So we're doing about 7,000 to 8,000 tests a week. We need to get up to having capacity to do 15,000. And until we have secure supply chains for PPE, secure testing, and making sure that we can hit that 15,000 a week mark. And also, I just lost my train of thought. Tracing. We have to be able to trace all those that contact tracing. So if someone has gets COVID, we need to be able to have investigators that can do tracing and make people aware that they've come in contact. And we do not have that in place yet. So there's several planning exercises that are taking place this week that will then be reviewed by the Oregon Health Authority and the governor's medical advisory panel. So we're probably, short weeks away from having the planning in place, but we still need to deal with the testing and PPE.
Jody, there was an article in the Oregonian that sort of raised issues that the person that interviewed in the governor's office didn't seem to have ready answers for, as to why we weren't using the testing capacity we had now? Has that been figured out?
It changed. So there's lots of information that moves very quickly. If I remember correctly, the most recent update we had is that we had the machines, but not all the tests themselves. And then we also have capacity in labs to be able to process testing. So it's sort of multiple aspects of the test or not, we don't have capacity.
The implication was that the guidelines were more restrictive than the amount of tests that were available.
That the guidelines for who they were testing.
Yeah, who were supposed to be tested.
Yeah. So right now, the tests that we have, because we're limited on what we have, the state is prioritizing healthcare workers and frontline workers for testing. So you can imagine as we start to consider reopening, we'll have to increase that testing capacity.
Okay.
And so we're not there yet.
Okay, thank you.
And Jody, what about essential workers? Where do they fall?
So, and I think you're referring to transit and grocery stores and people that are providing services.
Well, utility workers fell into that category.
Right. Yes. So I think, I think earlier in the conversation, we were talking about the challenges of accessing PPE. It's the same thing. That we just don't have enough tests right now. And we need to increase that to be able to even consider lifting some of the restrictions. We don't want to put anyone at risk. And as you know, if people are out exposed to others, that's going to be extremely challenging.
Right.
And so as you look at that, the report that I gave, again, our tests have gone up so slowly in Yamhill County, and it's because we just do not have the test. And at this particular time, there's no way, unless you're in one of those impacted groups, that you can get testing unless a doctor gives you an order that you have the symptoms in a way that they have real concerns from a medical perspective.
There's an online report that you can access that shows you all the facilities in Yamhill County that have got people with tested positive at it.
Wow.
The care centers and that throughout the county.
Yeah. They've been very reluctant to give us reports down to the zip code level because of privacy, and they want to contain that, but they are giving it very readily to us at the county level. I've had a couple of opportunities. You know, we've had a lot of change out at the hospital with administrators, with the interims, and I had an opportunity to talk to Mark Nicholas before he left, and we now have our new CEO from Providence in McMinnville, and we have tremendous capacity at our hospital right now. We don't even have a handful of patients in the hospital in bed.
Yeah.
I think also it's to be mindful that there is significant evidence that there would be another I guess there would be heightened cases in the fall. So there's an assumption that this virus follows a flu-like pattern. And so even as we consider reopening, there is considerable caution in full, people say getting back to normal. Well, first of all, I agree, there's no new normal, but we're looking at 12 to 18 months before there's a vaccine. So it will be a slow and steady process to reopen, and full reopening wouldn't occur till after we have that vaccine or there's immunity.
So much more to come, it sounds like.
Yeah.
Any other commissioner comments?
No.
Information is the last piece of our packets, and you have the ability to take a look at information from that perspective. Anything else for the good of the group?
Nope.
Nope.
Hearing none, we will go ahead and adjourn our meeting this evening. Thanks, everyone. And
Thank
Trina,
Thank you.
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Good night.
Bye.
Stay safe.
Good night.